Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
DJ Angelo.
You're rocking with the best, the best, the best.
I'm the hottest round with the crazy style.
Hey, what's happening guys? It's your boy DJ Angelo and I'm back to bring you a brand new turntable tutorial. We've come a long way since lesson number 1 because we're now at lesson 11, and today I'm going to teach you a technique that a lot of you guys have been waiting really patiently to learn, but I hope you can now appreciate that I wanted to teach you all properly from the very beginning and not rush into the hard stuff like a lot of other tutors are doing. So anyway, this is my take on the crab scratch. The first thing you need to understand is that the crab is an abstract scratch technique because there's so many ways that you can apply it when scratching over music, and it can be done with either the crossfader open or the crossfader closed. I'm going to show you closed crabs first of all, which produce a much tighter sound. The basic principle behind the closed crab is to start with the crossfader in the closed position and to also end with the crossfader in the closed position. Our thumb is going to gently rest against the crossfader and act as a spring, and each of our fingers is going to gently snap the crossfader so that it opens a split second. We're going to start with our little finger and end with a pointer finger. Don't be tempted to use too much force, because this is a mistake that a lot of new DJs make when they're learning the crab. The crab actually works best if your hand is as relaxed as possible. You can see clearly that the crossfader doesn't really travel very far between the closed and open position, which is why it's so important to have a sharp and loose crossfader. So if you were to play a long sound whilst doing this on the crossfader, that sound will be cut into smaller pieces, one sound for each finger, so 4 sounds in total. A good way to practice closed crabs is to play a continuous sound on your turntable, such as a tone. For those of you who are using the same scratch record as I am, which is the Super Seal scratch record by Thud Rumble, you'll find a continuous bass tone on the B side, and it's actually the last track on this side of the record. If you haven't got this record, you can find tone samples on plenty of other scratch records on the market, such as those by DJ Rectangle, DJ Swamp or Dirt Style. Having said that, any long sound will do for practicing with, so have a listen through your records and you might find something suitable that you could chop up, such as a long synth or a long vocal sample. So to demonstrate closed crabs, I'm going to use this tone sample. This is how it would sound normally. So if I leave that playing and close the crossfader, I'm now ready to begin my closed crabs. So you should hear 4 separate sounds, one for each finger. You can experiment by doing your closed crabs at different speeds. And you can also manipulate the tone with your record hand at the same time to change the pitch of your closed crabs. So that's pretty much all I can tell you about the closed crab. It's open to interpretation, so just experiment and see what you can create. I'm going to show you another way of executing the crab, which begins and ends with the crossfader in the open position. This is useful because it allows us to execute the crab orbit, which is what I'm going to show you right now. The way that I start an open crab is with the crossfader slightly open, with my pointer finger and thumb around the crossfader knob. There's 4 steps involved. So step 1, close the crossfader with your thumb. Step 2, snap the crossfader open with your ring finger. So for open crabs, I don't use my little finger. Step 3, snap the crossfader open with your middle finger. And finally, step 4, push the crossfader open with your pointer finger. Hopefully you'll be back at the start position with the crossfader open again. So those 4 steps done as one sequence gives us the open crab technique. We're now ready to incorporate our record hand to execute the crab orbit. So set your crossfader slightly open and cue up your scratch sound as normal. And for now, let's leave the turntable motor off. We're going to push the record forward, and as soon as we hear the sound, we're going to apply our open crab technique to the crossfader. To complete the orbit, we're going to do the same in reverse. So we're going to bring the record back to the start and again apply our open crab technique to the crossfader. If you're doing it correctly, you should hear 4 sounds as the record goes forward and 4 sounds as the record comes backwards. This is technically more efficient than closed crabs because we're still getting 4 sounds even though we're only using 3 fingers. So the open crab is the equivalent of a 3-click flare because we're actually clicking the crossfader 3 times for each direction of the record. So in essence it's a flare technique because we're getting 4 sounds for only 3 clicks. But of course we call it a crab mainly because of how it's executed. You can also execute the crab orbit with the turntable spinning like this. And again, you can experiment with the pitch of your crabs by moving the record at different speeds. So I hope you can now see that the crab is a scratch technique that's really open to interpretation. Whether you're doing open crabs, closed crabs, or a combination of the two, how you apply these techniques to music is really down to your musicality, your dexterity and also your creativity. So to end this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate some possibilities for you which should hopefully give you some ideas to carry on and develop crab scratching for yourself. Hey guys, that's the end of the lesson and indeed the end of another year. I hope you've enjoyed watching my videos over the course of 2009. I'll be back in 2010 to bring you some more, so please keep it locked right here. And last but not least, have a very Merry Christmas and a scratchy New Year.